Yesterday morning, I got a handful of emails um, looking at the news of the election. This one struck me the most strongly, and I want to share it. I have her permission. It was the subject line said, "Note from me to myself." And it read like this: Don't get sucked into the maelstrom. Don't get caught in viewing the impermanent as permanent. Things change constantly. Evanescence. Sure, scary situations and happenings all over the world. Today, again, right here in the US. Right here at the table in your kitchen at this very moment, it is quiet and full of possibilities. Close your eyes for 5 minutes. Open them. See the morning sunlight and realize that every single moment you breathe in is nothing short of a miracle. A brilliant opportunity to turn your mind. What you focus on becomes your reality. See what's happening in the world. Allow whatever feelings bubble up to bubble and pop. And mostly, take joy in the opportunity right here, right now, to cultivate wisdom and compassion in this chaotic world. She ended with a quote: "Things are hopeless only when you lose hope." His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. This is not to say that my friend isn't upset. I got a couple more emails from her later. Just little add-ons. I also got email from an organization that I think the lead lines were fear, anger, confusion, grief. And last night we shared the Dharma with the class in Spokane, and those feelings too, I think, were expressed among the group there. So people are feeling a lot of mixed things. There are some people, and many people in the United States, that are quite happy today, and that's to be acknowledged. And there are many people in the United States who are also looking at fear, anger, confusion, grief. That's kind of a despair. And when I was thinking this morning, it's a normal phrase, but we learned from our friends at Shasta Abbey that they have kind of a catchphrase around their monastery that they maybe counsel each other with. Where there's suffering, there is self. It wouldn't be a bad thing for us to adopt either. Just to remind ourselves, where there is suffering, there is self. And where there is self, we know there also exist what Venerable Thubten calls our rules of the universe are in play. Some of the rules of the universe. Normal people, like me, should believe what I believe. Compassionate people, like me, should vote as I voted. Intelligent people who care deeply about others and democracy, like me, should vote like I voted. Every one of those is a rule of the universe that has no bearing necessarily in reality and doesn't take in the whole picture of all the people involved in the situation of any election, much less this election in the United States. I was also very much reminded of the fact that every single morning we're reciting Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetu Tan Tatagato Hewadat Teshan Sayo Niroda Evam Bari Mahashramanaya Soha. Phenomena arise from causes. Those causes have been taught by the Tathagata. The cessation for two has been proclaimed by the great renunciate. The number of causes and conditions involved in how many people voted? 150 million, 160 million people involved just in an election. Can you imagine all the causes and conditions that come together to make a person eligible to vote, who makes their decision, the material they see, the things they think about, the background they bring to this decision that comes? if we begin to unpack the causes and conditions of this moment, all the energy. I mean, I opened the New York Times for 1 minute this morning and went, oh, no, I can't do this. There is, so much speculation, as Venerable Children said in her motivation for the talk. What went wrong? What happened? Who did this? What did right? What didn't go right? So the analysis will be useful, I'm sure. Actually, I think it will be. But in this moment, for people, for anyone who's dealing with fear, anger, confusion, and grief, this is not useful. What is useful, I do believe, is to really pay attention to what are my rules of the universe that have been trampled on in this situation that I'm not able to let go of right now. How much can I open my heart to see, what actually brought this about? What are the feelings? What is the emotion? What is happening that someone, a normal person like me, would have a different view? How is that so? What does that mean to me? What does that mean to my view? What does that mean to my relationship with that person or people I know in particular? How can I open my heart to the fundamental truth that everybody is seeking happiness? Nobody wants to suffer. And we have really different ideas about how to get happy, and we have really different ideas about how to avoid suffering. That's true. And what then can I bring to the situation that is actually helpful and beneficial to myself as well as to other people, as opposed to clinging to those things that are not so good for my mind. I don't want to undervalue people's upsetness. I don't want to negate it. And people have also talked about their obsessiveness having to do with the concerns of others. The immigrants, how will they be? The safety of our transgendered friends, how is this going to turn out? The dangers of losing access to reproductive health care. I mean, those are very real concerns to think about. But as our friend says right here, right now, right here in this room, the air is good, lunch is coming. It's not that we don't want to be concerned for other people, but what is going to happen is unknown. How it will happen is unknown. And getting caught in that kind of future thinking and isn't really helpful. So our practice of staying right here, right now, and opening our hearts to the people around us, because it's easy when we're afraid and we're angry to shut down against everybody. And that, I think, is the greatest danger in this moment for people who really care about developing love and compassion. Not to let the fear overtake us. I pulled out a few quotes from His Holiness. Acceptance of suffering does not mean that we should not do everything in our power to solve a problem whenever it can be solved. That's a quote. We also know, here's a longer quote, one of my practices from the ancient Indian teacher Shantideva, we can all say this together. If something can be done about the situation, why be disturbed? We do it. Just do it. No need to be upset about it. If something cannot be done about the situation, why be disturbed? There's nothing to be done. And in this case, this election is done. There will be no contesting. There will be no storming of the Congress at the time of of certifying this election outcome. This, I think we can trust, this part of the peaceful transition of power will happen this time. It's not to say there isn't stuff going on out there, but this we know. But there's many, many things we can do to work for and on behalf of the things that we believe in. And as we heard in a statement today, change takes time, and sometimes it takes longer than we wish it did. Václav Havel, he should know, former president of Czechoslovakia and playwright, hope is not the conviction that something will turn out well, but the certainty that something makes sense regardless of how it turns out. So, Desmond Tutu, hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. So our practice, I do believe, and I think people walked out of our class last night too, with this shared value of having, talked about the disappointments, talk about fear, talk about, bringing that up, but looking at the remedies from the Buddhist point of view, bringing us into the moment and recognizing that maintaining our love and compassion and maintaining our convictions are utmost importance. And we don't have to give those up. We don't have to lose those. It's not like everything ended. The world did not end yesterday or whatever day that was. And so I love what this person wrote. Maybe any of us who are concerned can write our own commitment, just like she did. Write our own pledge to ourself, message to myself. And when we start to get confused or lost or afraid, pick it up and read it again. Don't get sucked into the maelstrom, she wrote. Don't get caught in viewing the impermanent as permanent. Things change constantly, evanescence. Sure, scary situations and happenings all over the world today, again, right here in the US. Right here at the kitchen table in your kitchen at this very moment, it is quiet, full of possibilities. Close your eyes for 5 minutes. Watch your breath. See the morning sunlight when you open your eyes and realize that every single moment you breathe in is nothing short of a miracle, a brilliant opportunity to turn your mind. What you focus on becomes your reality. We can focus on our fear, or we can focus on the potential every human being has to cultivate our good qualities and to create the conditions for this to occur. See what's happening in the world. Allow whatever feelings bubble up to bubble up and pop. But mostly take joy in this opportunity right here and now to cultivate the wisdom and compassion in this chaotic world. Things are hopeless only when you lose hope.